Here's a stat that honestly stopped me in my tracks. The average American works 90,000 hours over their entire lifetime. That's roughly 40 years of showing up, grinding, doing the work. And yet, most people retire with less than $50,000 in savings. So the question isn't whether you're working hard enough. The question is, are you working on the right things? Let me tell you about Marcus. Marcus was one of the most talented graphic designers I'd ever seen. Seriously, the guy could make a logo that would make you emotional. His clients loved him. Word spread fast. He left his 9 to 5, started freelancing, and for a hot second, it felt like he'd figured it all out. But 2 years in, Marcus was making less money than he did at his old job, working twice as many hours, and completely miserable. He wasn't sleeping. He was arguing with clients over invoices. He was doing everything except the actual design work he loved. And one night he texted me and said, "Bro, I think I made a mistake." Marcus didn't make a mistake going out on his own. He made one very specific mistake. And chances are, if you're building something right now, you might be making the exact same one. See, we live in this culture that tells you hustle is the answer. Work harder, wake up earlier, sleep less, grind more. And I get it. There's something almost romantic about the idea of outworking everyone else. But here's what nobody tells you. Hustle without direction is just expensive chaos. You can be the most hardworking person in the room and still be completely broke, burned out, and running in circles. The real problem isn't effort, it's leverage. Think about a seesaw. If you're on one end and someone twice your size is on the other, it doesn't matter how hard you push, you're not going anywhere. But if you move the fulcrum, suddenly one small push lifts everything. That's what leverage does. It changes the math entirely. Now most people spend their entire careers pushing harder instead of moving the fulcrum. And that's exactly what Marcus was doing. He was the designer, the salesperson, the accountant, the customer service rep, and the social media manager all at once. He was pushing with everything he had, but the fulcrum hadn't moved an inch. Here's the thing about leverage that nobody wants to talk about because it sounds almost too simple. Your time is the most limited resource you will ever have. You can make more money. You can find more clients. You can learn new skills, but you cannot manufacture more hours. So if your entire business model requires your personal time at every single step, you've built a ceiling right above your own head. And this is where people get it twisted. They think the goal is to become indispensable. If I'm the only one who can do this, I'll always have work, right? Wrong. If you're the only one who can do it, you're also the only one who can break it. You get sick, business stops. You take a vacation, business stops. You want to scale? You literally cannot, because you are the bottleneck. Marcus eventually figured this out. Not overnight. It took some painful months and a few wake-up calls, but he started doing something that felt uncomfortable at first. He started documenting everything, every process, every client onboarding step, every revision workflow, every invoice template. He basically wrote an instruction manual for his own business. And then, slowly, he started handing pieces off. A virtual assistant here, a project manager there, and something wild happened. His revenue actually went up while his hours went down. That's leverage. So what does this actually look like for you? First, I want you to think about where your time goes right now. Not where you think it goes, where it actually goes. Because most people are shocked when they do a real audit. You're probably spending hours every week on things that someone else could do for $20 an hour. Emails, scheduling, basic customer questions, stuff that feels urgent but isn't actually growing your business at all. The second thing is this. Every task in your business should be treated like a recipe. Not I handle customer complaints, but exactly what you say, what you do, in what order, and what outcome you're aiming for. When it's written down like that, someone else can follow it. When it only lives in your head, you're stuck doing it forever. And third, stop waiting until you're big enough to think like a real business. That's completely backwards. You think like a real business first, and then you become one. The mindset comes before the results. Always. Look, I'm not saying any of this is easy. Building leverage takes patience. It takes trust. It takes letting go of control a little bit, and that's terrifying for most people. But the alternative is what Marcus was living. Working yourself into the ground on something you used to love, slowly starting to hate it. You didn't start a business to build yourself a prison. You started it for freedom, for flexibility, for a life that actually feels like yours. So the move forward is simple, even if it isn't easy. Find one thing this week that only you are doing, that doesn't actually need to be you. Document it, delegate it, and start moving that fulcrum. Because the goal isn't to work harder than everyone else. The goal is to build something that works even when you don't. If this hit different, drop a comment below and tell me what part you're going to apply first. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Let's keep building.